the keywords, do I write like to put the different types of services that he does as the keywords? That's why I guess that's why I get confused. And also, I guess LSI keywords.
Right. Well, I would definitely, as a starting point, I would do just like Brandon Olson says, and I would not go try to be real complicated with it. So just start off and keep it really simple. Go find some people that are ranking really high, find out what the keywords are. You can also go and look in SpyFu and Uber Suggest. Those are going to give you some keywords to chase after. And then you will want to have your content writer write that content around those keywords, making sure that you're writing around, one particular anchor keyword.
Okay. Thank you. So if this is a homepage, what would be my anchor keyword? Would it be the business name or would be the? That's where I get a little confused.
Yeah, his primary service, city, state, and sometimes there's kind of like that chicken and egg conversation that we have here sometimes at RankDaddy, where it should be city, state, and primary service. I personally, I do primary service, city, state. So I would do carpet cleaning, city, state.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I understand the part for the service. I understand for the content, but for the front page, I don't know. I always get confused on that part. That's why.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with going and building a one-page website. We rank landing pages all the time, and the same process goes in place, whether you're trying to rank one page or 50 pages. But I will tell you that it's not very much more work to go and build out a couple more pages, and it gives you some opportunity to be able to go and do some interlinking on the site. So, if you're carpet cleaning, city, state, but then you want to talk about, stain removal, city, state, then, you could have an inner page that's stain removal, city, state, and you could link those two together, right? And so it's just going to give you more opportunities to be able to clearly articulate to Google who you are and what you're doing, so that therefore you get ranked for more keywords.
You mean like the service stain removal? I have a page on that, and then have an inner page, which is linking to it, stain removal, city, state.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Jamie, take all the questions.
Yeah,
well, I would like to know more about you, Matt. I kind of started recently in the program and kind of been doing some progress. I've been doing some prospecting. I've gotten some replies back, trying to get information and getting them proposals. I have a couple meetings. So I'm seeing the progress. I'm seeing things coming out my way. I have a client that I started recently. So I'm getting a good feeling of the process. My page is getting ranked. It's not on the first page yet, but it's on the second one. And I'm getting there. So from your point of view, I would like to know, how do you start it? If you had experience before you got into RankDaddy, like if you have an agency on your own or you're working it on your side, how are you doing your prospecting and so forth? Like just a background of your journey, just to see if it's similar to me or if there's anything that I can pick up and implement myself.
Wow, those are nice questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kind of take them one at a time. I think we can accomplish several of those in and around my background. Yeah. So my background was in Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies. really in technical roles for years, and grew into management roles, and then later into more of the business acquisition side, so sales. And so I have a lot of years in sales experience and sales leadership and sales training. And so that's really, you know, I would say the foundation of my background. Working for, I mentioned, you know, Fortune X companies. I was working for one of them that got bought out by a larger company, and it caused a lot of trouble in the industry, and I decided to leave. And when I did, I started my own technology company. We actually started in just IT consulting, and as we progressed, and that was back in like 2007, and as we progressed, we just started finding more opportunities in what I would call the online side of the business, right? People wanted websites. They wanted all these things that we now coin those things as digital marketing. And so back about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I started my digital agency. And you know, when I say I started my digital agency, I did it just like everybody else does, right? That was a one-man band. And my team was, you know, me, myself, and I, and all of my email aliases that all came to me, right? And so I started off doing that, and really did a lot of different things. I didn't know anything about SEO, but I wanted to. I did a lot of web design. And then I started contracting a lot of, you know, acquired VAs to start doing a lot of my development work. And then as just time went on, I knew that there were different things that I needed to get more in tune with. And even though I understood SEO conceptually, I didn't understand it enough to be able to go and implement it. And I don't really even remember how I did, but I connected with Brandon now. I don't know, over 2 years ago. I was one of the first guys that came into the RankDaddy program. And so, by the way, I'll say you guys are getting an awesome deal because it was a writing a big check back in those days. So I joined up and really just kind of went through the training. And quite honestly, I went through the training probably 4 or 5 times. And I still today, even having done it, you know, for 3 years now, I still go back and reference the training a lot. Just something that, you know, I don't do every single day. And sometimes I have to go back and refresh myself. But now, you know, we're sitting at, well, I'll just say we're less than 6 digits monthly recurring, but we're on a climb, and we're loving the SEO business. I will tell you, you've landed in the right spot. You're with the perfect person, Brandon, with RankDaddy. He has the best process out of, and I've tried them all. I promise you, I've tried every one of them. But Brandon has a process that if you follow it to a T, you will rank your customers' websites. You will help them grow their business, and you will continue to have them as a customer. We started measuring 2 years ago, but over the last 2 years, we have a 98% customer retention rate. So and it's all using, you know, the RankDaddy process.
Is that SEO the only thing that you offer, or you have expanded to? I understand that you said that you did some web design before and stuff, but have you narrowed down or niched down to just SEO only, or you still offer different services?
Yeah, we still offer we offer different services, but it's mainly because we've been lucky enough to acquire the right skill sets to be able to go do that. If it was still me doing it all by myself, then I just don't think that would be a very doable model. But since, you know, we've grown past that point, and, you know, we have some other resources that we've been able to bring in, then it makes more sense to be able to do it. But we do some Facebook ads. That's not my favorite thing to do. Facebook ads and PPC. Those things aren't my favorite thing to do, but we do some of those when it makes sense for a particular opportunity. We do a decent amount of social media management. Again, that's not my favorite thing to do, but we do a decent amount. I'd say the two things that we do the most of are three things we do the most of are SEO, just web design, and then thirdly is we build sales funnels, online sales funnels.
Nice, yeah. Where I'm at right now myself, and the reason why I got into these two is, first, whenever you start doing like web design, you start doing the wrong things, and I've made mistakes in the past on websites myself, and even to clients. And me understanding better the SEO side is like, it gets me to a place where, hey, I want to do the right thing. This is something that you really need, and not build a website just to build it, but build it right. I have web hosting and web design, and I've expanded to do these now, SEO. And I mean, so far with my website, like I feel confident as far as the how do you call that, the knowledge and whatever you need to do. But I guess what most of the people struggle the same as me is the prospecting and the talking too much on the phone when you have a prospect, and not asking too many questions instead. And that happened to me yesterday. I was talking to a cleaning company yesterday. They actually related or close to me. And I think I talked like 90% of the freaking call. And of course, towards the end, they didn't have the budget, or they were not ready to grow. They only had like two people. Like they haven't hired the right amount of people. Like they're not ready to scale pretty much. But I think I talk too much. So that's kind of what
well, you've heard that thing where God gave us 2 ears and one mouth for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And so that's I've been in sales for a long time, and I've been in sales leadership and training for a long time, and so I know that sounds real elementary, but it really does. It really does matter. And another thing that I'll say, and I tell people that work with us all the time, when they're on sales calls, I tell them to be sure and don't answer a question that hasn't been asked, right? Just feel free to make sure that you articulate your value and make sure that you're I guess justifying the reason for your service and showing people the impact that you can make, not only on their business, but on what can happen from their personal life, right? You can change their personal lifestyle. So making sure that you do those things, but also making sure that I lost my train of thought there for a second. Just making sure that you don't answer a question that hasn't been asked, but making sure that you give your ROI story.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on. I've been reading books about sales and stuff, because that's kind of the main thing of all of these. It doesn't matter if you're technical, you can do the job, but if you cannot sell, you're just screwed.
Yeah, well, it is. It is. You can be the best SEO guy that you've ever met, but you have to go get opportunities. And across the board, you can talk to a lot of different people that are in this RankDaddy program. And you're going to find out that it's fairly rare that anybody has a website where they're capturing a whole lot of opportunities for SEO deals. I don't really know why. I don't really understand why. We've gone and tried to do it on a lot of different keywords and a lot of different strategies and that kind of thing. And we are doing some things where we're generating some opportunities, but it's a real big, complicated, complex process to do that. But it's not with SEO. But if you go find, a local business, city, state, so a carpet cleaning, you know, city, state, or plumbing company, city, state, or, you know, roofer, city, state. Those guys, their life changes when you get them, you know, ranked to the top half of page one. They go from, you know, 1 or 2 trucks to, you know, 8 or 10 trucks, and, you know, you've changed their lifestyle. So you absolutely have to be able to sell. But I'll tell you, you know, stay with the accountability program that's going on. That's been the thing that I've seen that's been the most effective for those who are trying to go and figure out this prospecting thing. And the only other point I'll make about that, and we'll go to the next question, is you know, don't try to go rogue with it. Don't try to go and recreate the wheel or come up with something that, you know, nobody has thought of, because I guarantee you every method has been tried in here. And if you go listen to a couple of guys who are good at prospecting and closing deals, you know, like Ed Weidman and Kevin and you know, Caleb and myself and Alex, they're, you know, that group, we go prospect and we go close a deal, right? If I want to go get $4,000 this month, I go get $4,000. I just go lock myself up in my office for 2 days, right? But I'm going to get $4,000. So stay with what they're saying. Follow it to a T. Don't deviate.
Okay, thanks. If nobody has any questions, I have more questions.
Yeah, let me take a look. I don't.
Jamie, go for it.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I see Linda Nicholson. Hey, Linda, how are you? I didn't see you on earlier. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I had a bit of trouble connecting. I'm a real newbie, so I'm happy to listen to what you guys are talking about. And I'll chime in if I have a question.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if you have any, feel free to jump in. Jamie came with a list, and I'm ready. So, Jamie, just fire away, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mainly, I guess, about prospecting. And there's probably several questions with these, but let's say when you started at the beginning, you were doing cold email and then trying to get them on the phone, or what was your approach? Let's say I'm just have you an example. I contacted a roofing company here in the area. Actually, I contacted 10 yesterday, and one of them replied saying that the owner was interested to send them pricing and stuff. And my understanding of sales is that sending pricing is a no-no, but how else do you approach this situation? Do you try to get them on the phone? How do you do the prospecting to the closing per se?
Yeah. Well, I will say that you're going to get that question a lot, and the one thing that you're going to have to get used to is being able to kind of have some thick skin with handling that particular particular comment. Some people might call it an objection. My approach is always that you know, hey, thank you for the interest. We look forward to connecting with you. But I think it would make a lot of sense if I could just have 10 minutes of your time to talk and make sure that we are actually a great fit for you guys, and that you guys are a good fit for us. And when you come at it from a perspective of, hey, we're not really sure, we're not doing what everybody else is doing, and coming in the room, beating our chest and saying, you know, nobody can rank your site but us. A lot of people get turned away because, you know, you're coming in, you don't even know me, right? You have no idea anything about anything that I do, and you're automatically telling me that, you know, you're going to change my life. Well, you know, the last 5 guys told me that too. And so I just take a really, I don't know, I had a word for it and I lost it there for a second. I take a really laid back approach to it and say, you know, well, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't really, I have looked and I think this is a good fit for us. And I think we might be a good fit for you guys. But if I could just have 10 minutes to hop on the phone with you and let's just explore that a little bit, is that okay? And I just did something I never do. I don't ask them if that's okay. Instead, I end that with, can I call you Wednesday at 10? Right? So give them a specific day and a specific time. Can I call you at this number Wednesday at 10? Right? No other options. Don't go ask them, hey, when is a good time? You know when it's a good time? Never. So ask them if you can call them Wednesday at 10, Thursday at 9, right? If you have asked 3 times and they have said, nope, can't do it, nope, can't do it, nope, can't do it, then my calendar is wide open. Tell me what time is best for you on Friday, right? So, but you drive that piece of it and then get to that day and that time. And then when you get on the call, then it's just exploration. It's just conversation, right? You want to know a little bit more about their specific business, but go there prepared with knowing something about their niche, right? If you're going to be talking to a roofer in city state, then go do a little bit of research on roofer city state and kind of know what you're up against there. Because what you don't want to do is get on the phone and start talking to some guy about, hey, I'm going to rank you number 1. And all of a sudden you start looking and, he's ranked number 1 already for, the top 15 keywords. You look like a dummy when that happens. That's actually happened to us. So just prepare a little bit on that. But that's how I overcome that particular objection. Was there another one in there I missed?
No, it was mostly that, because right now I started doing cold calling. Like when I first started the program, I started doing cold calling. Then they said, follow the process, do this thing or whatever. So I was okay. I switched back to the cold calling was not working just because I couldn't get to the right people, or when I talked to them, it's like, call me later. It was like in holiday season. So everybody was busy or not there or whatever. So I guess it was the bad timing too. So I started doing the screencast. And at the beginning, the first month, the screencast, I sent 50, no replies or nothing. And now this month, I started doing a screencast again. And now I'm getting some replies. I've been reaching out my network or people that I know that may be a potential that have websites and stuff. And I feel like I've been successful in a sense that I've been getting replies now. But I guess I'm just learning in the process on how to get them in the pipeline and how to close them.
Yeah.
So it was mostly that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that that there's a little bit of finesse that happens there around trying to figure out what works best. And the one thing that I will tell you, and you'll see example after example on where people have tried to find ways to make it as easy and as quick as possible on you, right? So you trying to find the quickest and easiest way possible to get a prospect started. Now, I know, going and doing a prospecting video, I know that takes a little bit of time, but you're talking about, a 10 to 15 minute investment. That for me, just like firing cold prospecting videos, it's less effective than anything else I do. Even though we do it, so we still do that sometimes, but I would say it's probably one of the less effective methods for us. Now I know a couple of guys here in the RankDaddy program that it is effective for them. They do a really good job of recording that video and being able to speak it in a way that draws some additional interest to make people want to explore and know more. And the one thing I'll say about when you do those prospecting videos is, sometimes we stand up and we do a presentation and our thought process is that we want to leave nothing unsaid when we do that presentation, right? I want to tell you everything that I know about it so that when that presentation is over, I know that I have closed that loop and I've done an awesome job. Well, when you're doing that on a prospecting video, you can't do that, right? You have to leave that prospecting video with kind of hanging on a cliff with, I have to know more about what I need to know what's next. The prospect has to know. They have to think, dude, I got to reply. I need to know what's next. Mm-hmm. And so when you talk about going and finding resources and opportunities and books to be able to get better at prospecting, then do it with some people who teach you how to not necessarily sell in a prospecting video, but how to generate interest. And so that would be the one thing that I would say is, don't try to sell people. Don't try to close the deal in a prospecting video. Instead, just try to generate enough ridiculous interest that they can't wait to reach back out to you.
Got it. Yeah. Actually, my last, I've tried different approach and different sentences. I've even tried sending a video, sending an email with a picture with a play button, saying, I recorded this for you. Just reply back if you want me to send it back. That didn't really help. And the one recently that I'm sending is, hey, I found something in your website that needs to be fixed ASAP. And I put the video, and that kind of was the one that I've gotten more views. Because it's like, oh shit, he found something. That sentence actually got me more views on the videos than any other emails that I've sent. So I think with the progress, I've been kind of narrowed down what works and what doesn't, and I just need to get more clients. That's all.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, it's gonna be the number one thing that you're that we're all challenged with, right? Because when you figure it out, then it changes. Because what works today isn't necessarily the best approach tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But the things that do work, and the things that you'll hear people like Ed Weidman and Kevin and those guys teaching and preaching is that first of all, dial the phone, right? And do the video and get that in front of them. But more importantly, 1,000 times more importantly, follow up, continue to follow up. I went, when we first started doing prospecting, I went and I got a little free CRM package. There's 5 bazillion of them out there. And I went and got a free little CRM package that had some autoresponder capabilities. And you can do it with, like a free MailChimp account and all kind of stuff. And I would go, and when I would send my first email out to the prospect, I would go and drop it into a little email sequence. And so the next 4, they would get 4 more emails from me. And my emails had subject lines like, with a little bit of humor. Like the last one was, or the next to the last one was, should I stay or should I go? And I think the last one was, hey, please don't call the police on me. And when people see that, they open, and maybe they don't engage, but at least they opened it, and I have a shot at them engaging with me. So that was one little trick that we did. But again, that kind of gets away from, keeping this thing simple, because the keeping it simple, prospecting and reaching out and following up, those are the foundational pieces that will make you be successful.
Yeah, I think I need to work on the following up thing.
Yeah, how much are you following up now?
Weekly, not daily. Okay. Or so whatever I send in a week, then I go into my Excel spreadsheet, take a look at the day that I sent, and then I try to follow up on whatever I sent on the past week, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I don't think since I'm doing it on Gmail, I'm not actually sending I cannot change the subject line, because I'm actually following up on the email that I sent. So are you suggesting to follow up, create another, pretty much copy that email that I sent and put it on another email with a different subject line?
Well, no, not necessarily. I follow up with a completely different a completely different perspective. I referenced the fact that I sent you an email that was about this, right? That I sent you an email that was about this topic, and let me offer you another perspective, and then I give them another idea around it, right? Because and I will say the following up a week later thing, even though, you know, there might be some people who argue with me on that. Oh, well, I'm sure there is, right? We've all got our own ways of doing things. But if I send you something today, and in 24 hours, if I didn't hear from you, I'm sending you another one. And then I'm going to send you another one on the third day. And then I'm going to give you a 2-day break, and I'm going to send you the fourth one. And then I'm going to give you a 2-day break, and I'm going to send you the fifth one. That's what I do. I've been doing it for years in a lot of different things, not just SEO. And so that's what works for me.
Okay. So I guess I have to step it up on the following up. But I think, you know, I've seen improvement in myself, so that's a good thing. But it's actually nice to hear the perspective from other people that have done it successfully in the past, and, you know, just different perspectives. And I thank you for that info.
And just remembering, you know, on the follow-up side, because you know, again, I know I keep saying Ed's name. Ed's a rock star, right? He's blowing this thing out of the water. This and everything else he's done that's been sales related. But you know, he talks about you know, the money is in the follow-up, and so that's just where it has to be. But if you think about it for a second from a perspective of, I don't know how many emails you get a day. I probably get 300 emails a day. And if somebody sends me some, you know, salesy video that I don't even click on, if they send me another one a week later, that I draw no lines between those two. Like I draw no, there's no relation. I know nothing about the fact that they sent me another one a week ago, unless I read it. And sometimes I will read it if they have a really good subject line. And they say, hey, you know, I sent you an email last Wednesday. And I'll be like, bull crap, you didn't send me one. So I'll go look. And sure enough, they sent me one. Well, I never opened it. So I think it's important to make that follow-up be a lot more, you know, close the gap. If not a day, then don't make it be a week. I think of, you know, people's lives change in a week.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess to, you know, every other day or every day, try to see, will you follow up on every single email that you send, even though if it hasn't been read, or you would only follow up on the ones that have been read, but they didn't reply?
Yeah. No, I follow up on every single one, but I do it because it's easy for me. You know, I have a sequence that I've built out. It's a 5 email sequence, and I have one for SEO and one for social, and I have, you know, one for each thing that I'm doing. And I'm saying I have it. That's because I have people who built it for me. And so, you know, I don't want to go and complicate your world and make it too complex for you to go and be able to pull that off. Because even though you might understand it, there might be, you know, people who are listening in on this call or come to it later that might not necessarily understand all that stuff and might make it sound like it's this big gigantic animal. And so what I'll say is, just follow up on every single email. Now, the way in which you do that, whether you do it in a manual way or an automated way, you know, that's the part that we can take offline and discuss, you know, in a different format. But I'm going to follow up with every email.
Got it. No other questions come to my mind. So Benson or Linda, you can ask away.
Hey, just real quick, Jamie, is it Jamie? Is that how I pronounce it? Jaime. Okay.
Jaime,
well,
yes,
I hear you hesitate every time somebody says your name, so it sounded like we were doing that wrong. So, Jaime, it's great to meet you. And so tell me where you are.
I'm here in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. Awesome. Love Tampa.
Yeah. So I think Ed, isn't it, that you mentioned, he comes here every like 6 months or something. He's like a snowbird.
Yep. And I think he Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I think maybe he might live in Fort Lauderdale or something, but yeah, that area. Yeah.
Yeah, he comes to Florida somewhere, and he goes to New York too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in Florida right now, loving the weather, and that's it. Trying to make things happen.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, hey, we don't have to just make this call be the only format. Part of the reason for having calls like this is so that we can draw some connections and for you guys to be able to have some resources and obviously, just because you're new to RankDaddy doesn't mean you're new to to the world. So there are things that we can draw from you and from your experiences. And so, feel free to continue to connect. I'm available, via Facebook Messenger, and I'm using it a lot for work tools, obviously, as we all are. So I'm behind it fairly frequent. So, if you have questions or if you want to bounce something, or if we need to hop on Zoom and take a look at something, then I'm very much open to doing that.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm actually gonna request you on Facebook, and then we can talk business. I'm a software engineer myself. I'm just trying to build things for me and my family. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, we can connect.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you and great questions. Linda, did you have some questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, as a real newbie, haven't yet set up the agency site, still going through the training and that. How do you handle like the credibility side of it when you don't have that? Like Brandon says, just to focus on the, that he's never been asked for a website and all that. But if you're asked, what's your experience? Who's going to be doing this work? Like,
right.
Yeah. How do you?
Yeah, great question.
Bring RankDaddy into it? Are you allowed to do that? Should you do that? It's the RankDaddy team that's behind. How do you sell yourself in that area?
Right. Well, I will. So there's several things that I want to cover there. The first thing is, me personally, I don't ever reference RankDaddy specifically, but I do reference the fact that I have partners. And so there are some people here in this group that I have connected with, early on, and they've been resources for me. And there's been times where they've been able to be a reference for me and things like that when, it was just being continually pushed on the fact that I needed to give a reference or something like that. I've been able to reach out to some people here and have somebody to lean on when I was early on in the SEO specific piece of it. And so that from that perspective, that's how I handle it. The second thing, and let me make this statement, let me make sure that everybody's listening to this particular statement, because I say this all the time. I have a team of about 21 people, and I tell this to my team all the time, and I say, hey, things are only as big a deal as you make them out to be, right? And so if you put a lot of emphasis on the fact that they ask you the question about the stripes you have on whether or not you're good enough to be able to do what you say you are able to do and that kind of thing. If you put a whole lot of emphasis on that, then they're going to put a whole lot of emphasis on it. If you kind of let that brush by with, well, of course I do. I wouldn't offer you that if I don't have the capability, and the fact that I'm giving you an opportunity to do this at no contract. Right. And I'm telling you that I'm going to give you a money back guarantee. So if I don't do this right, I'm going to give you your money back. So, so where's the risk? And so I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the book, Spin Selling. If you've never read the book Spin Selling, then go buy a copy and tape it to your forehead and learn how to spin sell. But that's a spin maneuver on being able to just take that negative connotation and turn it back around to, why does that matter anyway? Because if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, I'm not holding you hostage, and I'm going to give you your money back.
Yeah. I guess it's a bit intimidating in that it seems a lot of people within the group like yourself have loads of experience and I guess coming in, like the way that I'd be doing it is prospecting and then getting, doing the white label
right.
out, so I guess hearing all the, the talk about, the depth of your understanding on each of the processes, which I don't have, but I guess in the white labeling way, it's all outsourced. It's a matter of getting the client and looking after them through the process, isn't it? Overseeing.
Right. I would just, the word that I'll use there is just be sure and not overcomplicate. I hear you, and I hear a lot of others who continually talk about, how much technical knowledge that some of us have who have been doing this for a long time. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, I don't do a lot of the hands-on myself anymore. I don't do it all, I guess, but I still do a decent amount, and I can do that. But it's really through, honestly, just a lot of pain and a lot of making myself follow that RankDaddy process. And if you start at video number 1 and you go all the way to the end, I don't care how many times you have to do that. Just through osmosis, you're going to learn more about this process. Sure.
Yeah.
But I really wouldn't try to overcomplicate or overemphasize the fact that you don't know all the technical stuff. Because what we're really talking about here is just keeping it simple with, you have a website, you want more visibility, you want more opportunity, and I have a no contract, risk-free way of being able to get that for you so that your lifestyle can be changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
You made a reference a moment ago to you not having a website. Did I misunderstand, or did you say that?
I've just signed up with it this week, so I haven't yet done the agency website.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? When I was first doing the agency stuff, I didn't have one for a while, and I don't know if I ever even had anybody to ask me about it. But I know that seems logical that somebody would do that, and so. If for no other reason than the fact that it seems logical that they would ask me that, I think we should have one. But in doing the agency thing under the RankDaddy program, I don't really know what the plans are right now, but I think maybe you get one for free or for nearly free or something. And so I would say, go move forward with that, right? But outside of that, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah. Oh, that's helpful. Thank you. It's encouraging. I guess I have the plus that my husband, although lives with a chronic illness, but his background is in sales and television direct sales. He was good at it. So I think I can call on him for some help in the prospecting side of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to have a resource under your roof to be able to do that. And I'll tell you that whole website thing. I remember like one of the very first times that I met Brandon. Brandon and I were like doing this Facebook Messenger thing back and forth. And I was like, who is this dude? He's telling me I don't even need a website. I mean, what kind of bull crap is that? Because I came from Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, right? You did everything perfectly, and the process was all like written out, and like we scribed it in stone before we went and did anything, right? It took us years to prepare, and so then I got this guy who's telling me, "No, man, don't worry about it. You don't need a website. They're not going to ask you." And so I thought it was the most hokey thing in the whole wide world, but he's right. And he's proved it over and over and over with so many people here in this program.
Yeah, cut through the BS.
Yeah, right.
Just lastly, Matt, thank you for your help. I'm down under in Queensland. Are there?
Awesome.
I know there are some people doing it, and yeah, how successful have the students been from down under?
I am pretty sure. I'm drawing a blank right now. Heath. I think it's Heath.
Yeah,
who is there.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And Heath has been he's been one of the more successful ones, or I guess one of the ones with the higher success level.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. It's good listening to you, and I'll tune in. And yeah, it's just good listening to the conversations and gaining information. But yeah, we'll keep pressing on.
Yeah, awesome. And so the same offer that I made to Jaime, you are welcome to friend me on Facebook if you so choose, or just connect with me on Facebook Messenger. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer questions. I think we are each signed up to do this on, well, I guess as regular a basis as we either want or need to. And I think what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to feel out the need and find out, how much will people want to do this. And I'm willing to do this as often as we need to. I don't want to do it every night, but I would do it once a week or once every other week. So, but feel free to reach out and connect with me.
Do you have a specific area like that's yours in the process or you're all round?
I would say agency all around, and even including technology.
Okay.
I think you might have missed the first part of it, the intro, but I started off in Fortune X companies and have a technology business.
Okay.
And my technology business, then we spun off a piece of it and created an agency. And so, but yeah, I'm probably, if you want to talk about, doing the most awesome, effective Facebook ads in the world, I'm probably not the guy.
Right. Okay.
I'm good at online sales funnels, SEO, web design, and we do a good bit of pay-per-click, right? So Google, Yahoo, Bing, pay-per-click, and there was one more thing. Oh, and we do a decent amount of social media management.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hopping on tonight.
Bye.
All right, let's see. Who else? I see Micah has joined. Micah, man, you caught like right on the end of this thing. Let's see, Micah, I think you might be muted. Let me unmute you.
Hello?
Yeah, hey, Micah. I got you now. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, going good. So where are you located, Micah?
Louisiana.
Oh yeah, man, just right across the river. I'm over here in Madison, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, cool. Wait, so what time did it start at?
It started at 7.
Oh man. Yeah, I seen this. I think I remember something about 7 CST time, but I didn't really know what that CST meant.
Oh yeah, just Central Time.
Oh man, that's what it was.
So if you're on Eastern, it's 8 o'clock.
Huh?
If you're on Eastern, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh. Man.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you got some quick questions, I'll hang out for a few more minutes, and if it's something that we need to catch back up on later, then we can do that too.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much. So I just recently started my SEO about a week and a half ago. I started doing my screencast, started emailing, prospecting, all that type of stuff. But I can't seem to make my screencast videos under like 2 minutes. I've shortened it. My very first one was like 5 or 6 minutes, but I shortened. I shortened those to about 3 to 4 minutes average videos. And I wanted to see if, this is my first question, I wanted to see if that is okay, like 3 to 4 minute videos.
Yeah, well, my question was going to be who said to do them for 2 minutes. The training maybe says that, and I just don't know it. Because I just haven't watched that part in a while.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Brandon Olson, the leader, he actually advised the people that were in the training that you want to try to make the screencast a little bit shorter, around, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes long, because you don't want to have to take up too much of the customer's time, and you don't want to go into full detail,
Right, and I definitely agree with that. So after this call is over, then go back and watch the replay, because there's one important part that you're gonna want to listen to, and it has to do with not wasting their time and that kind of thing. But I would say what he's saying is a good idea, to keep it short and keep it simple. The most important thing is to keep it simple. And I would just make sure that I stay within the fact that, we are interested in doing, in increasing the visibility of their website to drive them more opportunity. And we do that with 3 quick things, content, citations, and trust. And I would stay there. The reason I want you to go back and listen to this video again, after we post it up, is because there is a part in there that talks to you about making sure that you don't try to do a presentation and communicate every single thing to them. What you want to do is you just want to generate interest, right? Don't try to teach them the whole thing, but instead just try to generate enough interest so that they will want to re-engage with you. Right?
Okay.
So I think if you take that approach, it'll make it a lot easier for you to shorten it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have been actually taking that approach. I've been explaining to them. I've actually made like a little small intro introducing, me and what I do, and then a little small body, and then the ending of what I say, which all ends up being like about 3 to 4 minutes, or 4 minutes actually.
Yeah.
But
well, as long as your message is good inside you doing that, then I don't see a problem with that. I have a hard time, if you can't tell, I have a hard time just saying my name in under 2 minutes. And so my videos are usually 4 or 5 plus minutes.
Oh wow.
And yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I wouldn't sweat that a whole lot.
Yeah. I had another question. Just one last one, and then I'll just go ahead and watch the replay whenever y'all post it up. But the last question is actually I had a lot more, but I'm just gonna make this my last question. So like my last question, I want to know if I can, whenever I prospect and I find a website that I want to land, or a client's website that's like ranked on page 2 or 3, and they have their number and their email attached to it. Can I also, I guess it's called cold calling. Can I do that as well? Like I hit their number up and give them a little ring.
And it's one of the most effective ways. I don't know if you have followed, or if you've met Ed Weidman on the page yet. But Ed's method is very much that. Ed starts off most everything with a cold call. He sits in the Home Depot parking lot and he sees some dude who spent $6,000 wrapping his truck, and so he goes and looks and sees, does the guy have a website? And then he looks to see how he's ranking, and then he picks up the phone and calls the guy, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I just saw you over at the Home Depot, and you've seen the Brandon Olson video where he's walking through the Sam's of the Costco, right? he's picking up the phone and calling the customer or the prospect, and he's asking them for the permission to, if I create a custom video to tell you how to increase business online, if I spend 10 minutes putting that together, will you invest 5 to watch it? Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it actually is how I prospect. That's my method. Is I don't fire off a whole lot of cold prospecting videos. Instead, I start off by calling them.
Yeah. So like, but what if you land somebody? Well, what if you call somebody and it's like a different type of company where their assistant answers when you really want to talk to, the boss, the guy that owns that business. So what do you do there if the assistant answers?
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother skill set that you have to learn and how to get past the gatekeeper, and that's for a whole different phone call. But if you want to go do some research, that is learning how to get past the gatekeeper, right? So that's a skill set in itself. But when you resort to not being able to, when you're not able to get to the decision maker, then you have to resort to going and doing the email method, right? And so that's when you're going to reach out and maybe send a cold prospecting video. I still don't just go send a cold prospecting video in that scenario. I'm still going to try to work to the person and find out, who's responsible for getting for getting your website seen by more people.
Yeah. Well, actually, I believe I created about 5. I sent out basically 5 screencasts to certain different types of people that have, local businesses and stuff like that. They have their name on their website because they own a business.
Right.
None of them have contacted me back, but I'm gonna just keep. I guess I can say I'm gonna keep pushing forward. Try to do more, like more screencasts and emails a day than I was when I started. When I started, I wasn't really trying that much, but I feel like if I keep, as I'm on the road of this mission, I feel like I gotta keep pushing forward, and then I'm gonna land somebody eventually.
Yeah. Well, two things I'll say about that is, one, absolutely keep your nose to the grindstone and keep going. You will get there. So I'll say that and I'll emphasize that. But then the second thing that I'll emphasize is, how many times in your life have you bought something where it was what we might consider a high ticket item, and somebody asked you about it one time? You probably not very many. And so just make sure that before you go and you spend all your time going and firing off more videos, then make sure that you spend some time following up on the ones that you've already done. How many, I covered this earlier and said that, I get over 300 emails a day. And so if you send me a prospecting video, I'm probably not going to see it. If you send me another one, tomorrow to tell me that you sent me one, I may or may not see it. But if you if you follow up with me 4 or 5 times, I'm eventually going to see and maybe open your email if you're creative enough in your subject line.
Wait, so basically you're saying that, like, go back to one of the following emails that I've already emailed once and like call the number or email them again, a shorter version.
Yeah, either way, follow up. However you follow up, just make sure that you follow up. Some people follow up with another email. Some people take the first email that they sent and they send it back to somebody and say, hey, making sure you got this. I'm not a fan of that, because I think that when you do that, you're implying that, hey, you're a dummy and you didn't read my email, right? So I think it's a little invasive or a little abrasive to do that. So instead, my approach is, hey, checking back in with you Wanted to make sure that you saw that important information I sent you yesterday. And then I give them another reason why I think my service is something that can be good for them, right? And so if I follow up with them 5 times, then I have my original email plus 5 emails, and I've given them now 6 justifiable ROI reasons on why they should be doing business with me. Or at least having enough interest to reach out to me and let's have a conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. But when I do that, I mean, I pinpoint literally everything in the first video. So, like with the SEO scanner, I actually copy and paste their URL in the video into this, and it's on the RankDaddy.com section where you log in, and it shows you the pros and cons to their URL. It shows you, you know, if you have an optimal length of title tag, meta description, image ALT, H1, H2, you know, some to those things. And I usually bring that forward to them in the first video. So, like, I don't know how would, if there's another free scanner that I can use, I mean, please tell me to, you know, show them any other things that reasons or why they're located on page 2 or 3 of Google, because I would need to bring that to them in the second video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some other free scanners that are out there. I'm using the paid ones. I think Brandon may have some links to some other free scanners that are out there. I think some of them are free for, you know, a certain number of times a day and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But quite honestly, you know, let me drill into that for a second and just say that, you know, I just don't get wrapped into all those, what I would call technical details, because the owners probably don't care either. My message is, we get you, ranked higher in the search engine, so that therefore you will get more opportunity. Google says that more than 80% of the online traffic happens on the top half of page 1, right? So why would you not want to be there? Let me help you get there, right? And then when I have a conversation with them, my conversation is then rooted and grounded in ROI. So if they're a carpet cleaning company, right, we know that carpet cleaning companies, you know, roughly are going to average $500 per ticket. And so what I'm basically saying is, if I go to work for you, for your carpet cleaning company, and I get you 2 brand new deals that you never knew about, then I've paid for my service this month. And I do it again next month. And that's only if I get you 2, right? And I'm going to put you at the top of the Google search results. Where 80% of the sales are happening. So that's my approach. Maybe that's different than a lot of people, but that's my approach.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I see it's already 8:13 where I'm at. So how can I go replay this? Like, where's this gonna be? Where's the replay gonna be posted at, basically?
Yeah, well, it's going to be posted in the page in the group. In the what do you call it? The RankDaddy Pro group. Yeah. It'll be posted there. Kevin will be putting that up. I'll get an actual link to the replay tonight. And so if you'll just go and shoot me a message on, Facebook Messenger, I'll send you a link to it as soon as it's available.
Okay, so like they're gonna post it in the group, and then you also have the link too as well.
Yeah, right. Because I'm giving them the link, but I'm not sure when they're gonna post that. I don't know if they get it up tonight or if they'll get it up tomorrow. I would say worst case I would assume they'll probably have it up tomorrow.
Okay, well, yeah, well tomorrow morning I kind of gotta get started with more emailing and stuff like that. So I'll probably just message you. What's your Facebook name again?
Yeah, it's Matt Mayo.
Matt Mayo, okay.
Yep.
All right, man. Yeah, I had a couple more questions, but I'm just going to let you. It's my fault I arrived late because I didn't know the time schedule. somewhat, you know. So, but thank you so much for thank you so much for answering the few questions I had, man. It really helped me.
Yeah, no problem. And you know, feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any direct questions. I'll be glad to help.
All right, yeah, I will do, man. We'll do.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
This is good. Thank you.
Hi.
Who's that?